good day. Tamers, BT17 has been fully revealed over on the official website. For those of you who are sort of here for the more seasonal events that you get with me, Get Swiftly, we do go over these cards as quick as possible for your pleasure, which will normally be about an hour to an hour and a half. So do forgive me if my voice disappears during this process. But there are quite a few good cards in here, as this is the movie set, and as you may know, there are quite a few movies in the Digimon franchise, even the awful, terrible ones. But that being said, let's jump into this as quick as we can. So I guess that's access to Mr. Gigi here. When attacking, pay the cost of 1, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DPS. This makes more sense if you understand what the going forth with the deck is. It's generally about playing with 0 or less memory, so that way we can actually do some of these fun trigger effects. Not necessarily saying this is the one you want to be playing with, but it will be quite interesting to just have more ways of getting through to your gameplay. Going here into Xiaomon, your turn was returned when one of your Digimon is played with from Digivolution cards. Draw 1. This is a different take on what we've seen before with the Pokemon from, I believe, BT17. For those of you who want to play a deck like this, where you are doing the whole sweeping and swapping things, especially with the newest deck from EX6, as well as the aquatic deck from EX3. More support coming down the line, though. We'll find out about that more in the near future. For us, we'll be getting that in January, I believe. But for now, I like what we have with the Yokomon egg. A BB-Mon, a very cool Digimon here. Your turn was returned when an effect places a tamer card in the Digimon Digivolution card game on memory. That is a great effect, especially because Hacker Judge will be jamming into your ports as much as he can. Can I get my mouse back? Argamon, this creepy looking little buggy boy. Opponent's turn, while this Digimon is Argamon, it gains a blocker, which is actually pretty cool for the deck, as it is a very resourceful deck. Sudamon, on deletion, if the Digimon had the unidentified trait, gain 1 memory, which generally always going to be the case because you'll be playing some form of Diaboromon deck with it. Baomon, your turn was returned when an effect places a tamer card in this Digimon Digivolution card. The Digimon may digivolve into a Digimon card with the signs of traits in your trash. I'm not 100% sure if this is more a case of just start of turn, like jam this into yourself, get to go into like a level 2 or level 4 or 5 or 6, or if this is the way to like cheat out your level 7 when you go into Tazuchi mode. But I do wonder what is the cause of like the whole deck to be this. I still like the original one, but I know this one does come up in play in the future, depending if you do want to play that deck or not. Agumon, as you may have known, Agumon is getting itself a new deck. It's a new DNA Omnimon deck, not so much the EX4 style, but its own brand of slappery that we're going to see very soon. Digivolve some Kuromon for a cost of 0. Start your main phase if you have a tamer with the Tai Kayami. In its name, return one of your cards with Gurumon, or Omnimon in its name from your trash to the hand, which is actually just a really good effect, especially if you are having to rebuild that stack again after the beatdown that you deserved. A new Gyomon card here, your turn was presented when one of your Kalamon or Tamers with Takuya in its name is Blade. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. If this effect didn't delete, gain 1 memory, which is kind of interesting. I do know there was a Terriermon deck that was played recently that had the Calamons in there to help it gain DP as well as being more effective in the future. But I like the idea of this. I do believe people have said that you want to play this in the deck. I think it's just more for the memory gain because you will be playing Takuyas at some point. And also as well, you have 0 or less memory at 2000 to the DP based deletion effects maximums. Just because this deck will be doing the whole blitzing normally, that's where you get the Takuyas from EX2 out, which is still a very good card. That'd be really good. One of the best value engines currently in the game, if you've been looking at the Japanese meta, you'll be looking at the Flamemon. Flamemon is coming quite a lot in the Japanese meta because they like to play the red base with their blue hybrids. So we're making ourselves some kind of pastel-y purple hybrids. So, on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add a 1 with hybrid or Tamers traits, and 1 tamer card with the inherited effects amongst them to the hand. Return the rest of them on the deck. This is not colour locked, this is not colour restrictive, it's just any or either. On deletion, you may play 1 tamer card with inherited effects from your hand without paying the cost. Again, just a super effective card, and I do really like this card, and it does digivolve from purple and red, so I'm sure there's some shenanigans you could probably do with purple if you really, really wanted to. Going into Graumon here, our first champion for this set. When Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less. If this effect didn't delete, this Digimon gets 3000 DP for the turn. It's kind of awkward, but I suppose if you do have the Takuya already, you could become a 8k swinger if you really wanted to. If not, you could then increase it with the effect of Guilmon if you're already going over to your opponent's side, which means you now can delete swing with 6k DP, which is generally a lot of the level 4s, if not 95% of them currently in the meta. Going over now to Agunimon, a lot of people are a bit suspicious about using this card. I think it's really good, especially if you look at the implications of the BT16 Dynabemon, which can become its own terror. When digivolving from a Takuya, cost of 2, and Burning Greymon for a cost of 1. Then can digivolve from level 3 for a cost of 3. This card may digivolve from the hand onto one of your red tamers as if this card is a level 3 Digimon, which has become the standard for a lot of hybrid now. When digivolving, if Burning Greymon is in this Digimon Dilution cards, or you have a blue or green Digimon or tamer, this Digimon may digivolve into Ancient Greymon in the hand for a dilution cost of 3, ignoring its Digivolution requirements. If this effect digivolved, delete this Digimon at the end of your turn. Very similar to how the promo one was in between BT4 and BT5, I believe it was. Except this one can digivolve from your hand onto a tamer, whereas the other one was not able to digivolve from tamers, which was really annoying at the time because it really confused a lot of people, because we presumed hybrids would just do that forever, and they just didn't for that one time, and they came back and they did rant over. Your turn, this Digimon gets 2000 DP, which is just a very standard effect, but obviously it is red, and red looks to boost its own attack power by being stronger and bigger. And now we go into Burning Greymon. Digivolve from a level 3 for a cost of 3, digivolve from Takuya for a cost of 2, digivolve from Agunimon for a cost of 1. This card may digivolve from your hand onto one of your red tamers as if the card was a level 3 Digimon. So again, standard for all hybrids as of now, basically. As raid's obviously really good attack, as well as doing other things, especially if you can get all this extra bonus DP. When attacking, this Digimon may digivolve into a Digimon card with the hybrid trait in the hand with the distribution requirements reduced by 1, which will just go up into an Aldermon, which is really good because Aldermon is such a good Digimon, as well as it's being just a fantastic combo piece to keep going up. Being able to build up is really good. War Groundmon. This War Groundmon is going to be seen play, I do believe, in those Gallantmon decks, even though a lot of people are going to be very sad that this Groundmon is a common, which means no full upgrades for the deck. When digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6000 DP or less. If this effect did delete this Digimon, gains security attack +1 for the turn, which is just a really good effect. War Groundmon. All turns once per turn, when an effect deletes an opponent's Digimon, you may suspend this Digimon with the Gallantmon in name. I mean, yeah, if I can swing and when attacking I pop something, and then when something popped I get to unsuspend, I get to swing for 4 hits in one turn. That's just really, really good. Also, this could be done in a way where you pop 2 additional security early because your opponent just doesn't have enough security to do it early. Underspend, then go into Crimson Mode. Crimson Mode effect just to get rid of all the last of the security, and then you win the game that way. I do think this just makes Gallantmon a faster deck, not necessarily a better deck, and that's the issue, because yeah, we'll get to it in the future. The new Aldermon, again, a lot of people are looking at this card and wondering why, because when you get it perfect the first time, you make everything else look like trash the next time. Hand main by placing 1 Aguni and 1 Burning Greymon from your trash into one of your Takuyas. Digivolve into this Digimon card, as it was a level 4 card, red Digimon 4. The Digimon costs are free, which actually is not a terrible thing, and I can't really complain because it gives you more options to actually get out your tamers and actually start fighting with them. When digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6000 DP or less, which is actually just a really good effect for just digivolving. And then your turn, while this Digimon has hybrid or it doesn't activate security effects of option cards, it checks, which again is just the same as the BT7 one, which is obviously the best one. This would be the second best one, but I do feel like a lot of people are doing the 4 of the BT7s and then 2 of the Dynabemon ones from BT16 from been seeing recently, because if you can get one of those Dynabemon ones into the trash, you can then digivolve with the other one, get that one on the field for free. Give it haste, technically, rush, and you can fight with both of them, and it can just be a very good value engine if that's the way the game plays out. If not, though, this is still a fairly good third option if you want to keep it more in the hybrid family. But yeah, a lot more people are looking at the Dynabemons as of now. War Greymon, this is mostly for the DNA deck. As you can see, the only money is in the background. Digital from a level 5 Greymon, its name for a cost of 3. If this card would be played, if you have a tamer with Tie in its name, reduce the play cost by 3, so it's going to become a 8 cost. On play, when digivolving, activate one of the effects below. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 8000 DP or less. One of your Digimon with Gabmon may digivolve into a Metal Groomon in the hand, ignoring the digital requirements without paying the cost, which obviously makes this a really, really good deck. You're going really, really fast. And then when attacking once per turn, if this Digimon has on its name, trash the top card of your opponent's secure stack, which is just a really good effect anyway. Gallantmon actually looks really cool here. It's a shame this doesn't have an alt art, but there's quite a few cards in the set that I wish had alt arts that do not, and it's not really a shame. It's just not the same. When digivolving, when attacking by deleting one of your opponent's Digimon with 8000 DP, at this point you could be having like 12,000, I think it is, or less. If this effect didn't delete the Digimon, gains 3000 DP and gains blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. Your turn, while you have 0 or less memory, this Digimon is defeated by your opponent's effects. It's obviously really good, but obviously it only really works if you're going to Digivolve up and kind of ignore things. So if it's like, oh, you know, your Digimon can't attack because it's stunned, oh, if that's the case, now you've got less than 0 memory, you got Blitz as well, so you can go, oh, I just ignore you now. Which is pretty interesting. I do think it's a good card, I just don't know if it's going to see much play. Going over into Ancient Greymon, so attack +1 on play when Digivolve and delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon, and there's a good chance this Digimon's gonna have like 18k plus DP, so it's gonna punch a lot of things down. On deletion, return 1 Tamer card and 1 hybrid traded Digimon card from the trash to the hand. Then you may play 1 Tamer card from your hand without paying the cost, which is fairly good. Like a lot of the new Ancients, you do have the Digicross ability here with the main 2 Mons, which will then reduce the cost by 6, so it becomes a 6 cost drop, which is just a very good pricing, if you ask myself. The alternate here, obviously the same card, but looks fantastic, and I cannot say no to such a beautiful card. Galamon Crimson Mode Ace. Oh, we knew it was coming, baby. We knew it was coming. Hand counter Blast Evolution. One of your Digimon may Digivolve into this card without paying the cost, because that's what Blast Evolution is. On play, when Digivolving, deliver to 15,000 DP total worth of your opponent's Digimon. Pop. This actually is really good into Numon if you get it right. So you can pop their Numon that has the on deletion effect, make them play the platinum, and then pop the platinum. It's very much a spin around the roses kind of thing, but it's just very interesting that you can just bully them out of the game. It's not the best card in the world, but obviously it's quite interesting if it was a more slower format. When I take on return, for every 10 total cards in both players' trashes, trash the top card of your opponent's deck. Now I believe this reads very similar to how EX4 Rush Guilmon is, which means it doesn't care if there's 10 in yours, 10 in your opponent's, it just cares about there being 10 trash overall. So again, the fact that I've been doing this is really good, and it actually makes this card a lot more effective, especially since you still run somewhat of the purple core of the Galamon deck, so you will be trashing cards on the way up. So having 20 cards over both trash is just very good. The alternate art for this card, if you may know me from Twitter, is my Twitter image. It's such a beautiful card that, like, look at it, it's fantastic. Like, they just did a fantastic job. What can I say? Beautiful. And then the alternate art for the red one over here. Like, I'm going poor for this set. Yeah, if anyone pulls one of this and they want to sell it to me, let me know. I'll definitely consider it. But yeah, beautiful card. Going over now to the Gabumon. Pseudomon for a cost of 0 star of your main phase. If you have a team with Matt Ishida in his name, draw one card. You will generally be using both the Mats from Matt and Tai from this set, as well as the Matt and Tai from EX4, because that set is actually really good. It was actually kind of like a little bit ahead of its time. Oh, and then effect, this Digimon may DNA Digivolve with another Digimon, which obviously is kind of the name of the game. Starabimon. On play, reveal top 3 cards. This is essentially just the same as the one for Flamemon. The only difference is a lot more people prefer the red engine over the blue engine currently. That could all change depending on what's coming out later on. Labramon. On play by placing 1 Sierra Mon or 1 level 3 blue Digimon card from your hand as this Digimon popped into card. Draw a card. And then once if this Digimon has jamming, gain 1 memory. Which, to be fair, if you're going to be running this version of the deck, you probably will be running like the Biomons and the Betamons to give it jamming. So you're always going to be gaining draws and memory, which is actually kind of efficient. I don't think you're going to be doing much with it though. Lobamon here, made you evolve one of your cards in your hand with Yellow Tamer, but also from a Koji. So you are using this in Blue Hybrid, obviously, but it also gives you the access to Hacker Judge that lets you just basically shoot at its own butthole at the end of every turn. Jokes aside, though, whoever came up with that idea will be seeing a lot more innovation as things go by. When Digivolving, if Kenduguruma is in the Digimon Distribution cards, or you have a black or purple Tamer, Digimon or Tamer, this Digimon may Digivolve into Agent Grumon in the hand for the cost. Obviously, delete this Digimon at the end of turn, which is the same as the Ancient Greymon. And when attacking, if you have 7 or fewer cards in hand, draw a card, which is actually just a really good value engine again. That's kind of what the blue stuff is, just very good at being good refilling a hand and being useful, which is obviously why this deck is actually a very good deck, as well as the fact that the top end is just crazy in comparison. This card may Digivolve from your hand from a Tamer, as if this card is level 3 Digimon card. It's fine. When attacking, draw at 1. Again, more value. If this is on top of Lobo, draw 2 cards if you've got less than 7. or obviously you can stagger it the way you want to. So when attacking, you can do the attacking effect of the inherited first, which gives you 6 to 7, for instance, and then you can draw this one's your 8th card. When attacking, if this Digimon evolve into a Digimon card with hybrid and traits from your hand for a reduced cost of 1, which would be. Remember going to no, we're going to see the card in a second. Remember going to but I do think you play the old Beowulf from what I've seen over the new one. Cisarimon, because I'm not going to say it properly. I'm playing Digivolving by placing a 1 level free blue Digimon card from this from your hand as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card. One of your Digimon gets jamming for the turn. I was nice to give it jamming for the turn on itself, but obviously you can also just put jamming underneath it, but it also has jamming on itself, filling the prophecy of going around in circles. And then we have access to Cerberus Mon Werewolf mode. The new one. This is the third one we had now. Second this year. Digivolving from a Cerberus Mon for a play cost of 1, and then when Digivolving, I don't know what's the play cost of 1 for Digivolving. When Digivolving, you may play a 1 level free blue or purple Digimon card from your trash or from one of your Digimon's delivery cards without paying the cost. At the next end of your opponent's turn, return it to the hand. It's actually not too bad if you actually want to have it as a recursion engine. And then also return. When an effect plays one of your Digimon, return one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to the hand. Really good at rating those floodgates, which are actually really annoying for purple. New Beowulfmon. Hand main by placing Lobo and Kendo under one of your Kojis. Digivolve into Digimon as a level 4 blue Digimon card for the Digimon cost of 3, which is actually fairly good, especially if it's a late game. You just need to be able to get bodies on the field and keep going. When Digivolve, returning 1 card with the hybrid trait from this Digimon's Digivolution cards to the hand, one of your opponent's Digimon tamers can't suspend until the end of their turn, which is actually really good for either the case of blocking or someone from attacking next turn. Attacking next turn, if this Digimon has hybrid or tamer warrior traits, turn one of your opponent's level 4 Digimon to the hand. Again, it's really good. Decks I've been seeing, they don't run this from what I've been seeing. I don't know if it's a case of they just prefer the older one, or if Ancient Grumon does like the heavy lifting. Melgrumon for the Omnimon deck. When this guy is played, if you have a tamer with Matasheet in his name, just splits cost by 3 to make it an A cost again. So basically the same thing as the War Greymon. I'll play when Digimon activate one of these effects below. One of your opponent's Digimon or tamers can't suspend until the end of their turn. One of your Agumons may Digivolve into a War Greymon in the hand, ignoring the delivery requirements and without paying the cost. From what a lot of people have been telling me, you play the you always try and get the War Greymon out first, and then you throw down this onto a Gabumon, and then you get to like stop your opponent from doing things. And it's the end of turn and then your DNA. That's what I've been told. Yeah. Ancient Grumon on play when you return with your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level to the hand, which depending on the format could be 1 stack or it could be anything else. There are obviously a few cards out that do basically say like you cannot remove me from the field. Those are obviously better into these kind of formats. The issue is they're not very good into a lot of the other decks that just want to rush you down. Your turn, when an effect adds cards to yours or your opponent's hand, your opponent adds the top card of their security stack to the hand. So not only do you bounce something from their field, they also make them add something to the hand. Or if you're able to swing and you've got the cards underneath from the level 4s from this set, you draw a card basically and they have to return the security to the top of their hand. It's kind of annoying for your opponent, but at the end of the day, it's the new win condition and it's painful. On deletion, you may return 1 tamer card or 1 hybrid traded Digimon from your trash to the hand. Then you may play 1 tamer card from your hand without paying the cost. And as we saw with the the Ancient Greymon, you do have the same effect with Ancient Grumon. Is Lobo and Kendo for a cost of 3 each, reducing this to a 6 cost, and then on play because of the effect you just return a card to hand. It's a very good value engine. If you've also been keeping an eye on things to play the Yoko from BT17, and the reason why is because when the egg attached to the rookie explodes and dies, if this is in the trash you can bring it back to hand because it is an ancient animal and it looks for an animal traded card, which ancient animals are because it has an animal in its name. You'll be surprised. And then the altar art here looks very cool. I do really like this. You don't really see much of the other Digimon in play here, but it is just funny to see that a flying fortress of Warfolk going into it. Moving on to the yellow cards now, we do have Agumon here. This will be closer so you can hear me still. Moving on to Agumon here, we do have when attacking by suspending one of your tamers draw a card, which is very strange because obviously this deck mostly revolves around the fact that they swing and then you get to Digivolve. I think it's just suspend maybe, so you get to spend it without having to swing and you get to Digivolve and draw a card in an order you want it to do it. Your turn, all of your opponent's security Digimon get minus 3000, which is obviously a bit safer for you to swing into security. Not necessarily saying you'd play this in a Shine Greymon deck, but you do have the option to if you want to. Pulsemon here. More Pulsemon love is always good. Digivolves from a BB for a cost of 0. And then start of your main phase by placing 1 Leon Alexander, which is Hacker Judge. From your hand, as this Digimon's bottom illusion card, if you have 3 or more security, gain 1. If you have 2 or fewer, recover 1. I do wish it was 3 up or 3 down still, like they did in the old days, but I do think that having the ability to gain a memory and then just recovering 1 might be a bit too strong, so I'll give them that one. All turns while the Digimon has Pulsemon in its text, it gains a 1000 DP, which is a bit squeaky clean. We could do like 2000 just because these decks don't really have a lot of power, but at the same time, look how cheeky it is. It is what it is. Rena, a new Rena. We haven't had a Rena now since EX4, which at this point is over a year ago. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 Digimon with the Kyubi, Tao, or Sakuya in its name, and 1 Rika, or 1 option card with the cost of 2 or more. Amongst them to the hand, return the rest of them of the day. Obviously, this is looking for the options because it's the only deck that really synergizes with the Tamers play of basically having to use the option cards to do things, which I think is still great. Cubimon, when Digivolving, if you don't have a Rika in play, you may play 1 Rika from your hand without paying the cost, which again, I love to see a deck that lets you play your Tamers out naturally. When attacking by suspending 1 of your yellow Tamers, this Digimon gets 3000 DP for the turn, and then all of your opponent's security Digimon get minus 3000 DP for the turn, which is obviously really good. Again, don't need jamming if they have 0 DP. Bulkamon, looking hench as always. When Digivolving, if you have 3 or more security, 1 of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP for the turn. If you have 3 or fewer, suspend 1 of your opponent's Digimon, so that way they can't block you. All turns will return when your security stack is trashed. If you have Leon Alexander in this Digimon's Delusion cards recover +1, which is really good. I don't know if you play like a barrier version of this deck. I think you can, where you pop your own security. In this case, you will just gain back stuff. My dog is currently going crazy behind me, so I do apologize for noise. All turns while this Digimon has Pulsemon in its text, gain extra 1000 DP. Again, you could redo a little bit more DP in this deck, but it is what it is. Tailmon Barrier. When Digivolving, you may use a 1 option card that has plugin in its name or is yellow from your hand without paying the cost. From your hand with the cost reduced by 2. So some of those option cards will cost 0, some of them will cost 3. And then there are obviously some good yellow option cards that will cost a little bit less. But we'll see some play in this deck when it gets around to it. I will probably try and rebuild my Rika deck and try and get some gameplay for you guys, as I do like the idea of having more like a spell slinger yellow deck as opposed to just like a security control deck go around. So we'll see what I can do. Then when attacking must return, if this Digimon has Sakuya in its name, you may use 1 option card with the plugin in its name or a yellow card from your hand with the cost reduced by 2, which is obviously just a really cool and good idea. Again, spell slinging for free. We have Batman. All turns will return when this Digimon would leave the battle area by an opponent's effects by trashing the top card of your security, prevent it from leaving. All turns return when an effect trashes the security stack. This Digimon with Leon in its distribution cards may Digivolve into a Digimon with Pulsemon in its text in the hand without paying the cost. So you're either going to go into Kazuchi, or you're going to go into I want to say Shout. My brain's gone dead. Shroudmon. So those are basically your option cards to go into, because I suppose you can also go into Shiva. I forgot about Shiva. Or Achilles. We've got loads of different megas now. I don't know what the hell I'm on about. About end of attack. Once per turn, if this Digimon has a Pulsemon in its text by trashing the top card of your security stack, suspend this Digimon. Part of me wishes this wasn't a once per turn. It was just like, yeah, just keep swinging, baby. I'll kill you before you can kill me somehow. But it would be quite interesting. But I do quite like this. Obviously, you've got the other one that I think when you block, or if you have blocker in the sources, you can basically just keep unsuspending and blocking on your opponent's turn to some degree. Your turn where you have a suspended tamer, this Digimon gets 3000 DP and gains piercing. I think this is great. Like, I like the idea of giving more piercing things to things that aren't green necessarily, or I think black is technically the other colour that gets piercing, but red gets it occasionally. But yeah, having just a pure yellow side to this is interesting to me. When Digivolving, when attacking by suspending 1 of your yellow tamers, 1 of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 for the turn. Rise Greymon. All turns when 1 of your yellow or red tamers is deleted, place 1 Marcus Damon from your trash to the top of your security stack. This is keeping the trend going from EX13? Question mark. Going now up into Sakuyamon, our first Sakuyamon since. God, was it EX2? Was that our last one? We got one in BT5, and then was it EX2 was the last one? Because then we've had like Maid Mode, and we've had I can never remember the name of the blue one, but we've had like the blue purple one since then. Digivolve from Skew Made mode for a cost of 1. And then Barrier, when Digivolving one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 6000 DP for the turn. Then, from your hand and without paying the cost, you may use one 5 cost or lower option card that has plug-in its name or is yellow. Your turn was pretend when you use an option card with a cost of 2 or more until the end of your opponent's turn. Their effects can't return the Digimon to the hand or deck, which in a meta like we're currently going to is really good to obviously keep you around. It does follow a few different Digimon's plans, but not necessarily all the plans. Obviously, some things just want to beat you up anyway. Going into Shine Greymon now from BT17. When Digivolving, you may play 1 Marcus from the hand without paying the cost. Just good value. All turns will return when this Digimon would leave battle area by an opponent's effects by returning one of your yellow tamers to the hand. Prevent that from leaving. Just, again, really good. Kazuchi. When Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. If Leon Alexander is in this Digimon's distribution cards, all of your opponent's Digimon get minus security attack plus 1. Get security attack minus 1 until the end of their turn. End of your turn was per turn. If you have 3 or more security cards, one of your opponent's Digimon gets 6000 DP for the turn. If you have 3 or fewer, recover 1. Then one of your Digimon may attack an opponent's Digimon. You're just going to swing with yourself, aren't you? And then when this card is removed from your security, when a card is removed from your security stack, if this Digimon has a Fenrilugamon, his name one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 8,000 DP. Obviously, this is part of the basically Seth cards that we're going to see later on, which is really good. And then the All-Star looks really cool. It is an SR though, so if you are looking for this in the set, you are basically hoping for an SR card, while the Fenrir of this set is actually just a rare. Shine Burst Mode. A lot of people know that I had a problem with this card because you can burst into it. Sorry, you can burst mode into it, and then you can burst mode into the old one. When that falls off and goes into your opponent's turn, they want to swing. You can just Digivolve into this instead. And it's going to be good chaos. Hand counter blast evolution. Obviously, what this does on play when Digivolving, you may play a 1 tamer card from the hand without paying the cost. Then one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 5000 DP for the turn for each of your tamers. When attacking by suspending up to 2 of your yellow tamers, for each one, this Digimon gets security attack plus 1 for the turn, which obviously being able to swing for free essentially is really good. But that makes it obviously more aggressive and not just a essentially removal card. And the alternate here actually looks really cool. It's very similar to the original Burst Mode's art style, so I'm really fond of that. Not massive fan of the goldy yellowiness here, but that's just because I'm not really a massive fan of the colour yellow. But for those of you who obviously love Shine Burst Mode, it looks very cool. It's just the colour's not for me, so hopefully those of you who do want this, you get lucky with your pulls. Going over down to the greens, got some Argamon here, green and purple. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Argamon and 1 Rhythm. Amongst them, just to the hand, return the rest to the bottom of the deck. The only thing I hate about this is the fact that we don't have the other level 5 at 4. I understand why it's very powerful. I don't think we'll ever get it back really, but it would be nice because then you can actually play this deck at full power. Your turn, when an effect plays one of your Terriermon, Lopmon, or a Green Tamer, you may suspend this. Spend one of your opponent's Digimon. I like the idea of this, but I don't really know if it's going to be that useful because it makes sense because the Terriermon extendable obviously gives piercing in its inheritables. So you move out, play a Tamer. Tamer goes, oh no, here I am. Suspend your opponent, go up into Terriermon extendable. If it's somehow still your turn, go up into whichever level 4 you're running, and then you now have access to piercing. So yeah, there it goes. Morphmon, your turn. When this Digimon will Digivolve into Isomon, reduce the cost by 1. It's really good because I think it only costs 2 anyway, so it's just a 1 cost distribution, which is obviously just very cheap. Your turn, when another Isomon is played, this Digimon may Digivolve into Isomon in your hand with the distribution cost reduced by 3. So yeah, it's just a lot of really good value. It's just a value engine, really good card. The promo is still sitting around like that £15 mark, so if you're going to play the full power Isomon deck, you are basically paying for the promo more than anything else. Argamon, when Digivolving, if you don't have a Rhythm, you may play 1 on Rhythm from your hand without paying the cost. I mean, yeah, you know me, level 4s do that. I'm quite fond of this. I do like what the new level 4s do. If you have 1 or less, you may play it at 1. So being able to play 2 Tamers now might be the new thing going in the future. So look forward to all those Gurumon and Greymon decks now. You can play 2 ties or 2 mats because we always want that value. Then we have access to the new Gargamon, which is on deletion. You may play 1 Terriermon from the trash without paying the cost. I'm always cool with like this kind of thing. It's very purple of you though, sir. but it's still very interesting. And then while this Digimon is suspended again at 1000 DP, which when you attack you're suspended either way, so yes, it's very interesting that the fact you just gain DP for attacking. Or blocking in some cases. Paramon security at the end of battle. If you have Digimon, sorry, if you don't have Digimon, play this card without paying the cost. On play when Digimon suspended one of your opponent's Digimon. It's obviously just very good starting your opponent's Digimon if that's the case. The fact it took us well over 20 sets at this point, because obviously you can think of the EX6 as well as the RB1, to get our first Paramon, and then we get an extra Paramon in I think EX7 or in ST18 maybe. All turns will spend when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, you may unsuspend the Digimon, which is just really cool. It's also a giant bird, has bird in its traits, avian, all that stuff, so it does synergize well with the upcoming Vortex Warrior stuff, making this quite an interesting card. I don't think you'll ever play it in there, but the idea of being able to just like go crazy and start suspending is just fun for me. Going over now to the Argomon level 5, that's currently going to be at 4 of. When this card would be When this card would be digivolved into by suspending up to 5 tamers, reduce the devolution cost by 1 for each tamer this effect suspended. Having lots of tamers in this deck seems really weird because the level 4 doesn't let you play multiple rhythms, it's just the one. So it seems strange that, so you are having to basically hard play a lot of the level 4 tamers, but in that case there are some 2-cost tamers that you could probably get away with like playing as well, if you just want to be like really cheap, because it doesn't say purple or green, right? Yeah, it just says tamer, so I mean you could just chuck out a load of analog usage if you want to, or like the Emperors. Opponent's turn. None of your opponent's tamers can unsuspend. Yeah, really good. Really good into like a format where you don't want to have tamers going everywhere. Look at you, hybrids. On deletion, if you have 4 or more Argomons in your trash, you may play 1 level 6 Argomon from your hand without paying the cost. The idea of this is basically going to have, from level 2 to level 6, you'll have the 4 that you need. They go in the trash, and then obviously you basically get to play at level 6 again. I take turn by suspending one of your rhythms and suspend this Digimon. Which again, really good because obviously you want to be able to fight. Antilamon Green Purple has Alliance, can go from Teruli and Wendigo for a cost of 3, reducing the cost by 1. When digivolving, you may play 1 level 3 green or yellow Digimon card from your trash without paying the cost. Again, in like this version where you are popping your level 3s to basically just get more value out of it and like destroy your opponent's Digimon, it's good to be able to recur things. And when end of attack was returned by deleting one of your other suspended Digimon, you may play 1 level 3 Digimon card with the beast trait from your trash without paying the cost. Because you're alliancing when you do this, so you basically go up, play that from the trash, alliance it, it's now suspended, go up into whatever your so if you want to use the X antibody way, you can put this here, have X antibody underneath it, swing out, go into Chubby X antibody now, and then basically finish the attack off because you're already attacking when you digivolve, and then you get to pop it and then play it back out again. There's a very good recurrence engines going on there that I think people might get into and actually play a bit more. It does seem quite an interesting deck, to be fair. Parasitemon, which is obviously the first time we've seen this, I think, since EX2, so it's been a while since we came back to this, and it has been a while. Handmade by paying the cost of 4, placing this card as one of your level 5 or higher Digimon's distribution cards. You may suspend one of your opponent's Digimon and attack an opponent's Digimon with this Digimon. With the Digimon this was placed under. Alliance, end of attack, you may place this Digimon as one of your other Digimon's bomb distribution cards. All turns, when an opponent's Digimon would be deleted, but with this Digimon you may play 1 Parasitemon from this Digimon's distribution cards without paying the cost, and then all turns this Digimon gets 3000 DP. So the idea essentially is obviously just get it out into the field now as it has Alliance, so it can just be very aggressive, very fast. I don't think I've seen any deck that actually wants to play this, but being able to suspend like this and then gain like 13k and swing twice is pretty good. Argomon looking absolutely brilliant over here. It's very scary looking and very menacing. On play, when digivolving, you may place up to 4 level 5 or lower Argomons from your trash as this Digimon's bomb distribution card. Then delete up to 4 levels totals worth of opponent's Digimon. For every 2 Argomons in this Digimon's distribution cards, add 1 level to that. So the idea basically is you're going to pop a level 6. The engine itself is just very much, it just basically loops its own cards, which is obviously really good. All turns, this Digimon gets 1000 DP for every 2 Argomons in its distribution cards. Opponent's turns, none of your opponent's tamers can unsuspend. Again, this was basically made for hybrids. Obviously, the issue you have with hybrids is when they go up. I don't know if you go into a hybrid, if you just unsuspend it when it goes into the level 6. I presume it can't, so you have to wait another turn to be able to attack out. But correct me if I'm wrong. and then the alt art here just looks like very much bloody evangelical. It looks very good. I always love the fact like they have this like really cool Ava art style for Agumon. Agumon now, on the other hand, all turns will return when one of your hot daddies is played. Gain one memory and draw a card, which is actually a really good value engine. I don't know if Mind Link does technically class it as playing. If you like, when you unlink it, I think it does. So you can always get that. It is all turns. That way, obviously, every turn it just becomes a way of gaining more memory and draw memory. Yeah, one memory draw. Keramon here. Opponent's turn. When an opponent's Digimon is played or Digivolves, if you have a level 5 or if they have a level 5 or high Digimon, this Digimon may ignore its. Opponent's turn. When an opponent's Digimon is played or Digivolves, if it's level 5 or higher, this Digimon may Digivolve into Infermon in the hand, ignoring the Digivolve requirements and without paying the cost. The idea of this is obviously to get you into a place of Ace, where if they want to start swinging out, they can. Trailmon, on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and 1 Tamer card or 1 Digimon card with the machine traits amongst them to the hand. Trash the rest. It's just a really good way of getting Coalition into your builder stack for Machinimon. Not everyone is playing this version of the deck though, because not a lot of people have gone back into like the Slam and Play version. But I do like this as the build stack idea if you really want to, and just having a level 4 that you can play and then go up into is also just really interesting and cool to me. Infermon, when Digivolving, Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, one of their Digimon with play cost of 8 or less can't attack players until the end of their turn. I like it has like a slightly better Kongu effect. All turns will return when another of your Digimon with Diaboromon in its name is played. Digivolve one of your opponents. Yeah, obviously you're now a token deck, so you want basically just be pooping out tokens and making your opponent's life hell. Locomon, all turns return when an attack target is switched, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Thrice, 1 Parasitemon or 1 level 5 or lower black Digimon card amongst them. As this is bottom Digivolution card, trash the rest. All turns when one of your Digimon's effects adds to this Digimon's Digivolution cost, this Digimon may Digivolve to ground a Locomon in the hand without paying the cost, and all turns while the Digimon has machine trait against Coalition. Chaos Digimon, I think a lot of us saw this when it first came out originally a few months back, and we were like, yes, new cast, it's brilliant! And then we read it, it was like, this is actually that good. Yeah, Machine Digimon, and then 1 level 5 card with Cyborg trait for reduced cost of 4, so it basically plays at 8. I think you can technically combo this with the Supreme connection as well, so it does become a 5 cost. I think someone said there was something else you could do it as well with, but yeah, that's how it looks like. While you have a Black Tamer card, cards from your trash may hold on. While you have a Black Tamer, cards from your trash may be placed from. God damn it! God, does not work. Here we go. Digivolve level 4. This can be hard. I know it's tired. It's like nearly 1 o'clock in the morning. Go, let's try it again. Digivolve level 5 with SOC Signs of Chaos trait cost of 3. While you have a Black Tamer, cards from your trash may also be placed for this Digimon's X Cross. On play, when Digivolving, replacing 1 Cyborg or SOC trait card from your trash as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card, delete up to 7 play costs total worth for your opponent's Digimon. All turns, when this Digimon would leave the battle area by an opponent's effects by trashing 2 Cyborgs, machines, or SOC cards in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, prevent it from leaving, and then Digicross. Yeah, it's a lot of us like first story for like the first time. I was like, this is really good cards. It's gonna be really good. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be like a really interesting card. It's gonna be really, really good. And then we obviously got like more into it after the first hour. I was like, this card ain't that good. It should have been much better. Should have been like an actual boss monster for the arc. Gran Loco piercing. God damn it, man. On play, when Digivolving, reveal top 3 cards of your deck. Place on 1 level 5 or lower black Digimon card amongst them as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card and trash the rest. End of attack. Let's pretend. You may play a 1 level 5 or lower Digimon card with the machine trait from this Digimon's Digivolution card without paying the cost. I do know there's somebody in one of the UK discords that is looking forward to playing this Trains Go Wide version of the deck, so good luck to them and have some fun, because Trains Go actually going to be pretty good. Diaboromon, something that everyone's looking forward to here. The Man of Tokens. When Digivolving, placing 1 Doomsday Clock from your hand or trash as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card, you may play 2 Diaboromon tokens without paying the cost. And obviously they're all the same. Then opponent's turn will return. When an opponent's Digimon attacks, you may switch the target to one of your Digimon with Diaboromon in its name, so it switches to a target, switches to a token. Now, I know with other cards, when you do 2 of things, they get to double their attack. So if you do something that lets you, what was it, one of the D brigades. I think it's like if you can maybe play cards up to like 7 costs. So if you play like a 3 cost and a 4 cost or 2 free costs, they both gain rush from the effects. I believe it is from the inherited. So I don't know if this will here because you play 2 Direbons at the same time. You get to digivolve 2 of your opponent's Digimon. I don't think that is the case, but it'd be interesting if that's how that mechanic would work. And then we have Armageddon Mon. When this card will be played from the hand by placing up to 13 cards with the unevent trait or Digimon in its text from your trash at the bottom of the Digimon, reduce the play cost by 1 for each card, so it becomes a free cost one, different from the original Armageddon Mon, which is you can pop a Direbon card to make it be reduced by 13. I think it's like a play cost of 3 then. Rush, Blocker, Reboot, which is obviously really good. So if you have access to free memory, it's going to be very good for your opponent to not just fall over now. On play when Digimon, delete up to 15 play cost total worth of your opponent's Digimon, and then your turn. This Digimon can also attack your opponent's suspended Digimon. Damn, do we get piercing in this deck now? Very good. And then the weird, slinky, disgusting worm Armageddon, which is just gross. Goblinmon. On play by deleting one of your other Digimon, delete one of your opponent's level 4 logic. It's pretty good value to be fair. If you delete level 3 to pop a level 4, it's pretty good. But it does digivolve from green and purple. It has retaliation in its heritage, which is also very good. New Diamond card, even though we just got one in the last set, but it's a common, looking very similar to how we got the access to the new Lugamon in BT17. We're taking if Hot Daddy is in this Digimon's distribution cards and your opponent has a level 6 or higher Digimon, this Digimon may digivolve into Doraguramon in the hand for the distribution cost of 4, ignoring its Digivolution requirements, which is everyone likes a warp Digivolution, right? I mean, I do. I think this is a good idea. Darkmon. Retaliation. When digivolving, draw 1 and trash 1 card in hand. Very, very good for purple cards. Then if Hippogryphomon is in this Digimon's distribution cards, this Digimon may digivolve into Mamukusmon in the hand for a digivolution cost of 2, ignoring the digivolution requirements. Now that is level 4, and that's level 5, so we have to figure out how to stick that underneath it, right? So we have Pipsimon, which is a Patamon. I'm trying to figure out which one it is. I'm sure someone will tell me. Is it like the sign, the knowledge maybe? When digivolving by trashing the bottom 2 digivolution cards of one of your opponent's Digimon. Yeah, that's pretty good actually. Your turn. Try to figure out what we use this in, because like you're normally like yellow, purple, yellow, and blue, which are like your normal Patamon colours, right? So what we want purple, because you're not really sort of like jumping off anything new, right? So that's a bit weird. We do need more. We need more DNAs that are different colours, right? So we can try and go into a bit of everything. Your turn when this Digimon attacks an opponent's Digimon with no Digimon cards, delete that Digimon. So I don't know if this is a case of just because you were attacking it, they just fall over and explode. And so you don't really have to battle, which I think would be really good. So that way you don't have to worry about, like obviously like crashing into and dying. Dex Dorugamon. Trash all turns when one of your Dorugamon would be deleted by digivolving into this card without paying the cost to prevent that deletion. Such a good, like I like the idea of like this zombie deck that should like what it should have been back in the day. Is just really interesting, and I'm looking forward to it. When digivolving, trash 1 card in your hand, then draw. If Dorugamon is in this Digimon's digivolution cards, or this digivolve from the trash, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 4 or less. Instead, generally there are some level 4s that do have this level 4 cost, looking at you like other sign cards, but also the fact that you are just ignoring death is also just really good. And then reboot as its inheritance effects, which is just very good as well. Excuse me. Digivolving Drak for a cost of 3. Blocker when digivolving may play 1 level 3 purple or yellow Digimon card from your hand without paying the cost, which I mean Lucymon from BT4 is a level 3 yellow Digimon. Again, it has blocker in its inheritance effect, so yeah, it's fairly good. Retaliation blocker, so it makes it very much a case of like you don't really want to swing into me. Dexdorugamon, or same effect as Dexdorugamon. When digivolving, trash 1 card in the hand and draw 1. If the normal card is in the Digimon's distribution cards, Or did you from the trash delete one of your opponent's Digimon with play cost of 6 or less? Yeah, generally pop in most of the level 5s, level 4s, and some of the cheaper level 5s, but mostly level 4s. The end of attack was return. You may choose one of your Digimon, delete one of your chosen Digimon, and one of your opponent's Digimon with as high or lower level as the Digimon. I believe you, obviously, the choice of this is you choose yourself, so you're level 6, so you basically try and seppuku yourself, and then what you do is you basically digivolve into the Dexterugamon. So basically, you just basically forget to die, and then your opponent just has to murder one of their own Digimon. So yeah, you know, it's a thing. It's just a thing. Mephisto man. All this card is revealed from your deck. This card is also treated as a. All this card is revealed from your deck. So, by trashing maybe, or just searching. This card is also treated as level 6. When this card would be played from the hand by returning one Apocalypse from a trash to the bottom of the deck, reduce the play cost by 3. I love the fact this card was here for. Excuse me, I can't help myself anymore, it's too late. I love this card was here for Apocalypse support, and obviously at this point it's a case of like, do we killed that deck, it was just too strong. On deletion, if deleted by an effect, you may play one Gulfman or one level 6 Dark Master trait Digimon card from your hand or trash by paying the cost. The deck was returned by placing one level 5 or lower card with Dark Master traits in its text from your trash as this Digimon's bond deletion card. This card gains 2000 DB for the turn. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a support card for a deck that was too strong anyway. Fenrir Luger in purple and red. We knew it was coming anyway because obviously the other cards over the last couple of sets have the additional pip of red, making this a very interestingly new coloured deck. Oh, Digivolving for level 5 sign of Chaos for the cost of 3. When Digivolving, if EG is in this Digimon's delivery cards, you may play one Fenrir Luger or Kazuchi from your trash without paying the cost. At the next end of your opponent's turn, return that Digimon to the hand. So this is very similar to, I want to say, Grace Nova, how that deck works, except instead of the tamers doing it, it's this doing it. The issue for me is trying to get out, trying to DNA Digivolve, I think it is, before passing over the turn. Obviously, you do have the ability to not have to worry about the turn switching over on the inherited effect, but obviously you need to be able to Digivolve before that. Alternative turn, when one of your Digimon or tamers that have the SOC trait or Pulsemon in text is played, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 10,000 DPS. So obviously, just getting this out and then being able to get out your Katachi at the same time is just really good because you do just have access to a big, massive. It's pretty cool. So if you are playing like the old Souluga, I believe it is, when you delete your opponent's Digimon, you can unsuspend, which is obviously really good for this situation. If you're only 11k though, I think that's smaller than the current Fenrir. I think Fenrir is 12, right, or 13? It's 12. But yeah, you get to pop swings, you get to suspend. If you're swinging originally with the other level 5, whatever it is, you obviously swing out, and then in that case you get to pop a swing and survive. Oh, unsuspend, not necessarily survive. Not alt-art though, which makes me sad, but hopefully we do see an alt-art for this, maybe in an event pack or maybe in a regional further down the line. Golfmon, new Golfmon, weird mouth place. Digivolve 5 for Dark Masters in text, cost 3 on play. When Digivolving by placing one level 5 card with Dark Masters in its text from your hand or trash, as a Digimon delivery card, delete one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon. When attacking by returning 7 cards from your opponent's trash to the bottom of the deck, suspend this Digimon. That is not once per turn. So if your opponent has a lot of trash, you just keep getting the swing. Sucks to be them. Moving over now to more purple cards. Mamukusmon. God, I don't know if I said that right. Weird bird chest. When Digivolving Durak with it's what I understand how we get. I know there's like a card here probably somehow we can put the level 5 and the level 4, but somehow we'll get there. When Digivolving, if Drakmon and Hippogriffmon are in this Digimon's delivery cards, by only one of your other Digimon, you may play one Ornismon from your trash without paying the cost. I know there's like a really cool recursion engine in this deck because you can pair it with the old stuff as well. Alternative turn, when one of your other Digimon is deleted, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as high or lower level as that Digimon. So yeah, if you smack like a level 5 out, you just get to put our level 6 in its place and then pop a level 5 in your opponent's other field or lower. On play, when Digimon, delete one of your opponent's suspended Digimon. Awesome. All turns while you have another level 6, this Digimon gains 2000 DP and gains skills +1. If you could gain Rush for the turn, it would be even better, so that way you can actually use its effect early and not wait for your opponent just to pop it or bounce back to hand the following turn. Next, Darugamon. Looks very weird. I understand he looks weird because he's technically a zombie, but I wish he looked a bit cooler or menacing. He might look cooler in the alt art. Trash, all turns, same as the other ones, get to play it from the trash for preventing a deletion and without paying the cost. Then when Digivolve and Digivolve free one of your opponent's Digimon, then if the Darugamon is in this Digimon's Digimon cards, or this Digivolve from the trash, well technically it's both, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. So yeah, if your opponent just has like 5 level 5s out, or like 4 level 4s out, or like 6 level 3s out, it'll just get popped. All turns will turn. When another Digimon is deleted, you may suspend this Digimon. So the idea essentially is you swing with the other level 6, you do the ability to kill yourself. That goes to pop itself, just gets to pop, it gets to go into this, it then gets to delete the other Digimon. And it sees obviously the other Digimon die as you go up into this to save yourself from dying. So yeah, like I like the idea of this deck. It's a bit more menacing. You're going to go down to Isomon. From white cards. When Digivolving, if it's your turn, you may play one white tamer card with a play cost of 4 or less, or 4 or less, or 1 level 5 or lower Isomon from your hand for a play cost of 2. If this effect played, your opponent may play a tamer card from their hand without paying the cost. And then opponent's turn will turn. When an opponent's Digimon attacks, you may switch the target of one of your Isomons. It's pretty good. Go up to level 5 now. On play, when Digivolving, if your opponent may play 1 tamer card from the hand without paying the cost. If this effect didn't play, you may play 1 white tamer card with a play cost of 4 or less from your hand without paying the cost. Then Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon for every 2 tamers. If you know this is the deck you'll be going against, it's a pretty good idea to just obviously keep your tamers to yourself until you can actually force their gameplay style. This does have like a weird good time into a lot of the newer decks from BT17 as well as hybrid decks, but at the same time they generally don't have a Digimon on the field unless it's like later in the game and they're just trying to like finish the game off. So it's not necessarily always something that you have to worry about. When an opponent's Digimon attacks, you may switch the target to one of your Isomons. The idea obviously here is so that way you're just not dying to like weaker swings. Isomon, they're all Isomon. Isomon level 6. When Digivolving, when attacking once per turn, you may play 1 level 5 or lower Isomon from the hand without paying the cost. Also in turn, when one of your Isomons is played, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as that Digimon. Then for each tamer, all of your Isomons gain 1000 DP. So obviously be careful. Obviously this is not terrible into like come on brain, you got this one. It's not terrible into like security control if you can get like a wider board, because they have a lot of problems getting rid of things. And obviously it gains more DP too, so they try and get rid of this. And it's like, yeah, you can't kill me, you just don't have enough DP reduction because I've got like 5 things on the field now, and I'm now 18k, no, brain's gone dead, 17k, you just can't get rid of me, and they just look at you like, god damn it, knew it was a mistake. Going into one of the best cards in this set now, I think pretty good. All the aces are pretty good, but let's just go off in this one. Hand counter blast. What this does, on play, when Digivolving, trash all the division cards of all of your opponent's Digimon, then return all cards in your or your opponent's trash to the bottom of the deck. If this effect returned, level 7 white card, gain 3 memory. That's kind of a weird thing to hope for, right? Because technically you'd only be doing it in your own trash if you need those one, if you somehow put the ace in there already, or it would hit in security, so that way you can just do it yourself and gain 3 memory back, which is pretty good. Obviously this is a 5 cost from Imperial Digimon in name. But obviously Blast Digivolution is free, so you know it is what it is. When attacking, by returning one of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards to the bottom of the deck, I'd spend this Digimon. Also now once per turn, by the way. So yeah, if your opponent has a couple of different Digimon on the field, this just goes swing, 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 and your opponent just goes like, come on man, this isn't fair. Swing, and there's nothing they can do about it. It's very unsettling. But yeah, it's a very good card. As you may see, like this is probably like the second best deck in the format technically during BT17. From what we saw in Japan, they did kind of go back to more of the armor stuff with a new mon as well, so we might not see so much of that in our meta, as we did lose out on some of the cards that Japan got during their BT17 meta. So a lot of the scramble cards, well, the scramble cards just don't exist, and we didn't get LM3, I believe it is, during this time period. So a lot of those decks also don't really exist right now. So 3 or 4 of those decks that should have been a bit better during the time period in Japan will not exist really for our meta. So yeah, this is like one of the best like cards at the moment going into the near future. Alt art actually looks really cool. I don't know if this is meant to be the scene from the O2 movie back in the day, or if this is a scene from the new film. Haven't been able to see the new film, unfortunately still not out in the UK yet. Hoping at some point soon we do get access to the Blu-rays or the DVDs. And then we have Imperial mode, Paladin mode, Ace. Actually looks really cool because it embodies the whole colour scheme. So like he's white, glowing white, pure power of a Paladin. Blue on the one side, green on the other side. It's just a very awe-inspiring card. Did a really good job of it. And then we go to Omnimon Ace. Raid blocker on play when digivolving. If DNA digivolving, choose one of your opponent's Digimon and return it and all of their Digimon with the same level as that to the bottom of the deck. Then delete one of your opponent's Digimon. Like, this is just a better version of the BT1 Omnimon Ace, to be fair. And I am for it. I am all for it. It's very good. A very good card. Alt art looks really good here. It just reminds me, I think, of the EX4 ones. I think that's what I'm thinking of. And then we also have the alternate high, which I'm not necessarily sure on because it's just a very bright white card. It might look much better in person, but that could be down to you and or me. Then going over now to the Tamers, Takuya over here now. Security players go about paying the cost, like all Tamers really is. Start with your main phase. If your opponent has a Digimon game on memory, which is actually kind of interesting for this to have, and then this Digimon has two. But your turn, well, this Digimon. Try again. Your turn, this Digimon gets 2000 DP. While your Digimon has 10,000 more DP, it gains piecing, which is actually not very hard for this deck to do because a lot of your things will get really good and high DP quite easily. And then the alternate art here looks really cool. I can't remember if this is a boxed up now or if this is actually a card in the set. I have a funny feeling it's a card in the set, but it does look very cool, and I would like to have a playset of these. Takuya, my man! Start of your main phase. Sorry, it's Takato. Takato! Start your main phase. If you have a Digimon with Gilmon, Groundmon, or Galamon in his name, gain one memory. There's a chance. Not always. The biggest chance, but there's a chance you can have one in the Digimon with that name. End of your turn by placing this Tamer and one Groundmon and one War Groundmon from the trash as this Gilmon's bottom Digimon card. That Digimon may evolve into a Galamon in the hand, ignoring the Digimon requirements and without paying the cost. This is obviously really good though if you do have access to the other, or the EX3 Takato, because you really want to be able to like blitz at the end of the turn so you can actually, do stuff. And then the alternate art card is just, baby, give it to me. Going over here to the movie style, Matt and Tai. All turns, when one of your Digimon is played or digivolves by suspending this Tamer, if you have a Digimon with Greymon in its name, gain one memory. If you have one with Greymon in its name, gain one memory. End of turn was returned when one of your Digimon with Omnimon in its name may attack the player. So the idea obviously for this is that you try and get them out, gain 2 memory back, so you're only paying 6 memory overall rather than paying 8. And then end of your turn was returned if this has Omnimon in its name, because you will anyway. You can attack the player, and obviously then you get the effects of, which is like suspend something, or it bounces you back to hand and puppet security. So the idea is like it does flow around, it's pretty good. And then the alt art here is actually it's so derpy. I don't know if it's so derpy, but it's also a very cool card as well. Minami, on play, you may play Labra or Sasari from your hand or one of your Digimon distribution cards about the cost, which is pretty cool. And then when one of your Digimon is played from distribution cards by suspending this Tamer, one of your blue Digimon gains rush for the turn. Do you play this in the Seafaring deck is my question now, because that's actually an effect I didn't think of before and might take a place of the Joes. Koji, security, play this card by paying the cost, and if you have 2 or less memory, set it to free. Memory setter for the deck, I think it is. I can't remember what the first does. I think it makes things unblockable, so it's still pretty good. And then when an effect adds cards to your hand, gain 1 memory, and then this Digimon gains during the turn. It's actually a pretty cool effect, if you want to quote me on that. And this card also looks just badass as well. Then we have the derpy ass looking Davis and Ken. If you have 2 or less memory, set it to free, so it's a 5 cost memory setter. All turns with one of your level 5 or higher free traded Digimon would be deleted to battle, but suspend this Tamer, you may play 1 level 4 or lower Digimon card from that Digimon's distribution cards without paying the cost. And then end of your turn, one of your free traded Digimon may attack an opponent's Digimon. Actually pretty cool. I think the idea here is the fact that what you want to do is you want to partition at your level 4s first, if that's the case. And then, if you can, you also get to then play at a level 3 as well, so you also get more continuation. But then having one of your free generated Digimon may attack one of the opponent's Digimon is also just very cool, if you ask me. Plays card without paying its cost from security. Very interesting. But like as derpy as these kind of do look, because it's obviously a reminiscence from the original movie, this looks even derpier. Like I understand why. It's just I wish it wasn't so derpy. Rika, start of your main phase. If your opponent has a Digimon with gain 1 memory, which is quite common for some of these trainer cards, but it's also a very cool card. By placing this Tamer and 1 KUB 1 Tau from your trash as one of your arena's bundle cards, that Digimon may digivolve into a Sucumon in the hand for the digivolution cost 4, ignoring the digivolution requirements. If this effect digivolved, you may return one of your cards from the trash to the hand. A lot of people are complaining about this card because it's like, I want to be able to play it into a maid mode. No, like, mode changes do not count. Please, behave yourselves. But look, it's really cool. Like, obviously, it's like, happy Rina, Rika, sad Rika, preteen angst, right? Alternate art card here. I feel like it's a boxed up, I could be wrong. It doesn't say. But yeah, it's just got that boxed up style to it. And then we just go, English alternate art version, which is actually even more depressed looking Rika, so I'm not sure how I feel about this, to be fair. Leon Alexander, the new version of Leon Alexander, the non-hacker judge, but I think he's also a hacker judge. Play this card without paying its cost at the start of your main phase. If you have a Digimon Pulsemon in its text, gain 1 memory, which obviously you're playing a Pulsemon deck to a degree. Obviously, you don't have to do that if you are playing it in Blue Hybrid. And then mind link one of your Digimon Pulsemon in its next. The thing here, though, is you don't mind link the blues. You digivolve over the blue ones because it wants to digivolve the Tamer. And then at the end of your turn, you basically just delink it, so you do just, have an extra Tamer for the next turn. All turns while this Digimon has Pulsemon in its text against blocker and barrier, and then all end of all turns. So the barrier, obviously, here is really effective for what the deck wants to do, but the whole, like, when you lose security, you get to do more things. You may play one Leon Alexander from this Digimon's digital cards without paying the cost, which again, delinking the mind. Again, this is really good into the Blue Hybrid, and that's why they're doing it. The alternate art card, though, is actually kind of cool, and I do wish the other hacker judge had an alternate art, but it doesn't. So yeah, you can see why this might be getting played in the near future. New Marcus Damon on play until the end of your opponent's turn. One of your Marcus Damons is also treated as a 3000 DP Digimon. It can't digivolve and gains blocker. All turns when this Tamer would. All turns when this Tamer becomes suspending, one of your Digimon gets minus 3000 DP for the turn. If you have a Digimon with Agumon or Greymon in its name, gain a memory. It's actually pretty good. And the altar here actually looks kind of okay. Shine doesn't really have that kind of like facial expression to be derpy because it doesn't really have a mouth. I think it's more like a Kamen Rider kind of thing. Like it's like the face is like built into the mask. And his eyes look fine. They don't have derpy eyes. Willis here actually looking good for a change. Actually not just being a total jerk face. One of your green Digimon gets 2000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn, which is better than what the other Willis does. And then your turn when one of your Digimon with Terramon or Lopmon in its name. Ooh, we're recommending like the secondary Digimon now. In its name is played. By suspending this Tamer, one of your such Digimon may digivolve into a Digimon card in the hand with the Digivolution cost reduced by 2. Oh, great, so I get to go up into a Digimon card. That's a level 4 for 0 cost. That's really good. Thank you very much. Obviously, for Terriermon, you can use this and go into Rapids, I think, for a cost of 1, which is actually just really good. And then for Lopmon, it's just a case of like building up whichever side of the stack you want to go to. They all end at the same place, they all end on a Chubi to some degree. But yeah, you do get to access some very interesting cards, if you ask me, in my opinion. And the alternate is just, again, box topper style. I'm thinking these are box toppers, to be fair. But it's nice to see Willis get at least a little bit more love. It is rhythm, right? I'm never sure if this is rhyme or rhythm. I think it's rhythm, right? Because I'm terrible at spelling because I'm dyslexic or anything. Your turn, when an effect suspends one of your Digimon, you may suspend this Tamer. Okay. When this Tamer becomes suspended, gain 1 memory, and then if you have Agumon or Eela Digimon with Agumon or Greymon in its name, draw 1. There you go, that makes more sense now. I feel like this could all just be one effect, but there we go. And then again, boxed up. It looks nice. I like the colouring, to be fair. I like the like circular pixel style. It's very cool. Tomonori Ryusenji. I believe that's how you pronounce the name. Tomonori Ryusenji. Your turn, when an effect places a Tamer card in one of your Digimon's illusion cards by suspending this Tamer, gain a memory. Pretty good, actually. End of your. You'll never play it, but it's a pretty good effect. End of your opponent's turn. Once per turn, if this Tamer is suspended, one of your Digimon with the Tamer card in its division cards may digivolve into a Digimon card with Dex or DefX in its name in the trash without paying the cost. He's kind of good. Like, he's kind of good. get your players going a bit faster. Code Cracker Fang. I like the fact they put Code Cracker Fang here. I think they did here, like a lot of us like joking around with this being a bit of a racist card. Security, play with this card without paying the cost. At the start of your main phase, if you have 2 less security, gain 3. It is a 4 cost, so which would generally make it to be a memory setter. Modding one of your Digimon with the Dark Animal or Sign traits. While this Digimon has a Dark Animal or Sign trait, it gains Lines and Blocker, and then you, at the end of all turns, you may pop this out. The interesting thing about this is you do play this as well as the other one, as well as also kind of playing Analog Youth. It's a very weird dynamic that they've got this deck doing now. It's tight. Let's say that it's tight. Minoa Baluchi, unplayable. I hate this girl. By trashing 1 Morphmon or Iso in hand draw 2. It's pretty good, to be fair. Like you get the rookies that do the same thing. It's really good. All turns while you have an ESO, none of your opponent's tamers on play effects activate. Bitch. Opponent's turn, once per turn, when one of your ESOs would leave the battle area by an opponent's effects, by deleting one of your other ESOmons prevent from leaving. Smile, goddammit. I hate this card. It's just so. Why are you so grumpy? We do have some extra cards here, as you might see. Oh, I went too far. What the hell? Alternate card here. I actually like the butterflies, to be fair. I just wish you were smiling. You're so miserable. Tai and Curry. Baby Tai and Curry, so from the original OVA. Or the first part of the Digimon move for those of you over here in the Western world. All turns, when your breeding area is hatched in by suspending this tamer, gain 1 memory. Pretty cool. End of your turn, by returning this tamer to the bottom of the deck, draw 1. Then you may play 1 tamer card with Tai or Curry. It's named from your hand without paying the cost. I have seen people playing like 2 of this in the Omnimon deck just to get like the extra sort of draw power, and then being able to get the 4 cost cards out for a cheaper cost. So yeah, I can understand why people are doing that, because it makes sense that you're trying to like obviously speed up the game, also slow it down. And the alternate card is just very simple. It's very pleasing on the eyes, and it does have kind of like a nostalgic feeling to the artwork, which is very cool. Ancient Guardian Deity. While you have a tamer or a Digimon with a hybrid trait, you may ignore this card's color requirements. Main, you may return 1 Digimon card with the hybrid or 10 warrior traits from the trash to the hand. Then you may play 1 Digimon card with the 10 warrior traits or tamer card with the inherited effects from your hand for reduced cost of 4. So yeah, it's very, very good. The idea of this basically is getting things out early enough to be able to DNA digivolve into a Susanemon and be a pain in the booty, because I believe it does DNA. And then security, you may play 1 tamer card with the inherited effects from your hand or trash without paying the cost. Then add this card to hand. It's just recursion. Alt art is actually really cool looking, and I wouldn't say no to playing with that in my deck. Reckless Mega Knight. You may play 1 Agumon or Gabumon from the hand or trash without paying the cost. Then place this card in the battle area, and then alters when one of your level 6 Digimon with Greymon or Gurumon in its name would leave the battle area outside of battle. Delay this Digimon and a card in your hand with DNA Digivolve into a Digimon card with Onmon in its name in the hand, which is actually really cool. You may play 1 card with a Tai, Kami, or Mat in its name from the hand or trash without paying the cost, then add this card to hand. Very good cards. I do wish this had an alternate art, but it doesn't. Same with the Crimson Savior, which, though I don't think you play Crimson Savior in Galamon, to be fair. You may play 1 Guilmon to go from your hand or trash without paying the cost, then place this card in the battle area. When an opponent's level 5 or higher Digimon is played, delay one of your Digimon may digivolve into a Digimon card with Galamon in its name in the hand without paying the cost. This is obviously just so you can get to Galamon into Crimson like earlier, and that way you can just, you know, be a menace. Be an absolute menace. Return to the Primogenitor, or Promogenitor, the first generation essentially. I think the Japanese version is Return to the Ancients, which sounds a lot cooler if you're like a Final Fantasy fan. But this is like, yeah, I understand like the terminology, and I get where you're coming from. I just don't think it's as cool. Main, one of your Digimon may digivolve into level 5 or higher Digimon cards with the free trait in the hand without digivolving. Cost reduced by 4, then place this card in the battle area. All turns when one of your Digimon with a free trait or to be deleted other than by one of your own effects, delay by digivolving that Digimon into a Digimon card with the Imperial Dramon name in the hand without paying the cost to prevent the deletion, and then you get to be a big ass giant white monster of death. You may play 1 tamer card with Davis or Kent in its name from your hand or trash without paying the cost, then place this card in the battle area. It's just very good, like just very, very good card. Hacker Pride, it's just basically same as Pulse Memory Boost, whatever it's called. Reveal top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with a Portsmouth name in the hand, return the rest of them on the deck, and then place this card in the battle area. By placing the top card of one of your level 4 or high Digimon cards with Portsmouth text to the top of your security, gain 2 memory, which again lets you mess around with some of the different effects of the deck. Then security, reveal top 3 cards of your deck, add the one with Portsmouth in its text to the hand, turn the rest of them on the deck, and then place this card in the battle area. Oh, God, that's awful. Oh, and then Awakening of the Sun. You play a Marcus Demon or Rhythm from your hand or trash swap in the cast and place this card in the battle area. When one of your tamers is deleted or returned to the hand delay, one of your Digimon may digivolve into a Digimon card with Shine Greymon in its name without paying the cost. And then the same thing basically happens here with the hidden effect here. The security. This is the alternate art. The alternate art is really cool. I haven't seen the films, to be fair. I got out of Digimon after Tamers, to be fair, so this is not something I've seen. But it looks like a really cool scene. Doomsday Clock. Add this card to the hand from security, and then main play 1 Diablo and token without paying the cost. Then place this card as a multi-delivery card of one of your Digimon with Diablo in its name and without paying Doomsday Clock in the delivery cards. So, on your main turn, if your battle area has 4 placed Doomsday Clocks, you win the game. All turns this Digimon would leave the battle area by the opponent's effects by deleting one of your other Diablo and prevent deletion. At the end of your turn, place 1 Doomsday Clock from this Digimon's solution to the battle area. It's not exactly a fast mechanic, but it's one of those where, like, for instance, if your opponent is playing security control, you have a way of messing around basically to stop them from being a kind of a pain in the ass. And then our first secret rare here is the Fenrirlong Tami. I wish it was just like Kazuchi mode. Takami Kazuchi, yeah. Trash. Your turn. When one of your level 6 Digimon with Portsmouth in its text is played, 2 of your Digimon may DNA digivolve into this card, which is how you DNA, because it's like really weird otherwise. When digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 16,000 DP for the turn. If DNA digivolving, you may set the memory to 3 on your opponent's side. Then, if a tamer card is in this Digimon's distribution card's game of memory, and recover 1. So basically, it's your turn. Never mind. You're attacking by trashing the top card of your security stack, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. That is not once per turn. If you can continually attack, you basically get to always attack twice. So you get to attack 4 times essentially if you can suspend. Which I think you can quite easily with this deck. Love the alternate art here. It just has that vibes of I will say Seth. Is Seth right? As well as the Doggo Digimon Pokemon from Sword and Shield. I can't remember his name of now. And then the super duper chase card here. I'm not a super massive fan. I think it looks really cool, but I'm just not my style. It's a little bit too busy, so I am kind of like looking forward to like in action rather than Thunder God. Greymon here as out of a secret rare card. He is kind of a cool Digimon. He does kind of make these weird amalgamations of Death and Decay. That is Greymon, the Koromon, Agumon. When digivolving, if this Digimon's name is Koromon, this Digimon gets 3,000 DP for the turn. Then delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much DP or less DP as this Digimon. All turns, this Digimon gets all the names of level 3 and lower cards in this distribution cards. On deletion, you may play 1 tamer card with Tai or Kari in its names from your hand without paying the cost or hatch your breeding area. The fact that this card can become a Koromon, which means you can go into an Agumon, which means you can go into Agumon X antibody, which means you can go back into Greymon, then you go back around into Agumon, and you can make these really ridiculous stacks that makes you like on your turn so ridiculous, like what was it now? Like 20 something K. You're just popping all your opponent's stuff. You ain't gonna get a chance to do it, but like yeah, it's freaky crazy. You may play 1 tamer card with the Tai or Kari in its name from your hand without paying the cost, or hatch in your breeding area. So the thing that's really cool about this that people like have been looking at is you have all the Greymons in the same stack, right? And then you go up into like a Agumon, Extendable Agumon, just so that way you got them all in your sources. And then one gets cracked, you hatch the eggs, and then what you do is you then hatch. Then you play 3 tamers with Ty's name in, basically. You just go, all right, play the game, do your best. And apparently it's quite a menace. We do have the alternate art. This alternate art looks really good, and this is probably the alternate art I'd go for if I'm really, really into this card, which I think is a cool card. I'm not really too sure if I want to go into too much though. Then we have the secondary alt art, and then I think we have the English chase, I think it is. But no, I think it's really cool. I do think it's really good. I do think the idea of this card basically being the original Greymon that we saw in the first OVA, where they do just go, Karamon. It's like, I'm Greymon now, and like I think it's just funny, like a little bit of a throwback, saying like, we always thought your name was Karamon. It's like, no, like Digivolved. Why don't you understand? And it's like, because you didn't tell us how Digimon work. And it's like, shut up. But that's how it is. We do get the additional box toppers that you may already notice, that we do get some extra things. So there's Genin, which is really cool. If you've seen this from the movie, where like Digimon in the digital world, and Genin's talking to you through the internet. So it's a very interesting alternate art. I do think it's really cool. And then we also get the Typhoon, where you get to see Sad Will. What's so fucking sad in this game? Sad Willis, and then Lotmon and Terriermon here. Goddamn ugly Digimon. But yeah, so those of you who want ugly Digimon cards, get your Typhoons where you can when they come from box toppers, right? Get your 4P Typhoons. But we do get these new cool promos. There's this cool, interesting Flame Digimon here, which is unpurged from raid. That you also return when the Digimon attacks target is switched, so obviously raiding or blocked. Your opponent adds the top card of their security deck to the hand, which not great, but at the same time, popping security is always fun, one way or the other. For those of you who do want to play All Force, very good Digimon from what I've been told. I'll play when Digimon reveal top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 Digimon card with the Digimon in its name and 1 blue Digimon card, blue Tamer card. Box them to the hand, return the rest of them on the deck. Fortunately, you cannot find a Vmon, but you can find all the rest of your pieces. Digimon X Antibody. On play when Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP for the turn. All turns while this Digimon has Leomon or X Antibody in its Digivolution cards, it gains Blocker and Fortitude. Very good card. Has a very weird reminiscence of like a Final Fantasy Tactics game, which is not an issue. It's just interesting. But yeah, he's a very cool, interesting card. On deletion, recover +1. So yeah, if you are playing this in one of the Fortitude, like heavy Leomon decks or Bancho decks, it is quite an interesting card. The fact that you just get to recover if you do explode, which is kind of still Leomon's thing. Make up a Terriermon for those of you who are looking to play this in Tyrant. Good luck, it's fun. Has evade all turns while this Digimon is suspended. It isn't affected by the effects of your opponent's Digimon. Then Mega Cover Terriermon. All turns and once per turn when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, fresh top card of your opponent's security stack. Which again is becoming more of a trait for green, which I'm actually more for, because green does have an issue where it's always pushed into be more of a battle ready colour, even though it doesn't really get to be the battle ready colour, especially because it's more about like poking your opponent. Especially though, like a lot of the cards these days, especially in like yellow, green, yellow, blue, and red, are always going to be really big Digimon. Sometimes even black. So it's nice to see that green does get to have the whole like, no, we poke you, we get to take you out for Sunday brunch. Mimitaramon, considered to be a Mimimon as well as a Tyrannomon. Collision and blocker, which means that you get to block their stuff, and because they have collision, you make them block yours. Also, turn when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, you may suspend this Digimon. So if you can somehow survive being crashing into one of their Digimon that's blocking you, you do get to swing again. All streeters are having Meme and Tyrannomon in name, so it's searchable for those 2 different archetypes, which actually makes it quite more interesting. Also, return when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, you may unsuspend this Digimon, which again, it's very interesting. It'd be quite cool if it had collision in its inheritable effects as well, but that's what we go for. Now, a new Falcomon. On play, suspend one of your opponent's level 6 or lower Digimon, and then by placing this Digimon as the bottom distribution card of one of your Digimon with a Ravemon in its name, that Digimon may attack an opponent's Digimon. The idea for this, I believe, is because it's the undeletion stuff just triggers, and then you just get to go crazy. I'm not sure if this would be a case of something you want to do at the end of like your plays, like you've done your burst mode stuff, you didn't die, whatever, you didn't explode or whatever the situation is, and you get to have like basically, what do I do at the end of this now? And you can put this, you can just on play it, shove it into the bottom, and make it attack again. If deleted outside of battle, your opponent's treasures 1 card in their hand, which again is just very much in key with the deck. Very good card for the deck. I just don't think the deck's going to be doing much for a while. It just needs support. So things I want to just talk about before we do sort of end it, like the best cards of the set. You're looking at some of the promos, like Mega Cover Terriermon, great for Tyrant. You can actually make Tyrant a lot better. We don't have access to Shiver Ace, which is going to be a bit of an issue because that's one of the cards that he's run efficiently in this deck, so obviously you don't get to see action of this card, unfortunately. Flame Digimon does see some play in armor decks, but again, it's unfortunately more of a rogue variant of the deck as opposed to it being more of a consistent deck beater. But it's actually still a very good card in case you do want to run it, in case you want to like pick up 2 of these and have it as like a secondary means to sort of like get your opponent down. And then Digimon is just very good into all Force decks, just having extra chance to get tamers as well as having access to drawing well, obtaining another card that you need for the stack, essentially. The X-Leomon card is really good. Falcon would be really good if the Rave Deck was good, and maybe Tyrant One is an interesting card, but not necessarily the best card in the game. Greymon is just a very interesting card that you may want to pick up just because having 4 different rarities, it should hopefully push down the price of the normal one. So if you can get these for like 5s, maybe 10s on release, go for it. They're going to be really interesting, especially later on down the line. We'll probably get more Greymon support. Because it's the Greymon card game, we're going to get more Greymon support either way, one way or the other. Probably the Alternate Arts, if you want to just be collector's sakes, probably pick these up because they're going to be interesting down the line. That the fact that we have like something that's uniquely interesting for the card game. Aces are always good, specifically Paladin mode. It does just devolve over a green or a blue, which means that some decks like Ancient Grumon does use this as like an extra additional push towards the end of the game when your opponent thinks they've got you on the ropes and you just ace them in the face. Anything really here? Nothing really here. I don't want to talk about too much. If you're into Diabomb, obviously pick up Diabomb stuff because we don't know when we're getting next stuff. It's very unusual to get lots of support and then, you know, just be quiet for a while now. So do look at picking up these. They don't have access to the Cyberdramon? Question mark. Ace from LM3. We don't get that till December, unfortunately. So those of you who are looking forward to that card in the use of this deck, unfortunately, doesn't come out yet. So that's why we don't have any black Ace cards for level 5s yet. Probably, I think I'm right about that one. Don't question me. But yeah. So anything here that you really want to pick up, it's down to you. I don't really think the Terriermon, the Gargamon, or the Antihero is specifically good for either of the decks, but it is here if you want it. Trying to talk about this earlier, the burst mode. I do think there's like a weird play where you go into the old burst mode, do your stuff, try and be aggressive. Probably if you can't get your opponent down, you can't just look for a turn, and then when they're swing in, you want to trick them with the ace and then just basically ruin their day. So probably pick up the aces. Aces are just good anyway. Also have like a playset of aces if you can get a chance to. Anything on the front page? Think of here. Flame on if you want to play into blue flare. If you want to play into hybrids, or you want to play more specifically into the blue hybrid stuff. Flame on is just so good. It's just slightly. It's just better version. The red base is just better version because you don't really mind throwing it into the security and dying into its own whims as much as you would maybe for the blue stuff. Again, Crimson Mode is like a really good card. Probably pick this up if you are looking to have more of a way to play. That's just because we do know that Gallantmon Medieval Mode is going to be the next boss monster for Shoto. So if he's a green-red card, or as well as it being a Gallantmon in name, you do have access to this card, and that way is more of a way to be more successful in the future. And then we're looking over here. I think if you want to pick up like the Rhythm Online stuff, it's all like cheap cards to be fair. I think Sakuyamon is a rare as well, so I don't have to worry about that being too expensive. Probably for like the cost of like $2 or $3 or quid, you will be able to pick up this stuff, playsets of, and then just be able to go through there. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And a lot of the stuff for the Omnimon deck is also like rares or lower. So there's a lot of good stuff in this deck. If you're not a lot of good stuff in this set. Unfortunately, the only real like stuff that gets really improved currently is going to be Imperial, because let's think, my brain's going to work here now. I don't really think that you change the Magna deck up either way, so either the yellow vaccine version or the Vmon version. I don't think you really need to play the Flame Dramon to make the deck any better, but you do have access to it if you want to. But if you do, when you raid into your opponent's things and you flick a security back to the hand, that will trigger the effects of Mr. X antibody over there. So it could be something to think of for those of you who want to look into that territory. It's probably the only inclusion into that deck you're going to do. Umon doesn't really get anything new as far as I'm aware in this set, so you're not having to like rebuild the deck around that at all. And then, again, as I said already, Paladin is basically the only thing going up here. So Paladin mode is generally going to be the one big thing you're going to see, as well as having the option card as well. And I think you do play the Tamers, if I remember correctly. But that's about it, really. Everything else, unfortunately, is more in like the tier 2 or row category, especially because we don't have access to the LM3 cards, which means the Omnimon deck isn't as good as it could be. You don't have access to the aces just to be able to like trick your opponent into things. You don't get to be able to play Bonds. You don't get to be able to play the Megidra stuff. We don't have Shiva, like I said, so you can't play like a more efficient version of Tyrant. So unfortunately, there is a bit more of a gap in stuff. The other good deck that is in this thing that's going to be obviously a new deck is blue hybrid. Obviously a little bit better when it's BT18 comes out, but it's pretty good now as well. So that would probably be like the best deck out of this if you want to build like a brand new deck. So I would recommend picking up your flames, picking up your BT15 yokes or your BT14 Korras, depending on the variant of deck you want to play, and then obviously pick up your stuff. So you want to pick up your Lurbers, your Kendos. He seems like a good card, so I'd say pick up your Beowulf, but I know a lot of people have been picking up the BT7 question mark Beowulf, which everyone I think one of them gives you unblockable. That one obviously pick up your Ancient Grim ones. They are SR, so obviously you'll be paying the price of these, and it's probably one of the better cards in the set. So don't really expect to pay cheap prices for these ones. You're probably looking on release between like £12 and £20 for these, or like the equivalent of your local regional currency. But yeah, that's about it for this end recap. So for those of you who have been here for the whole thing, thank you very much. My voice hurts very, very, very much, and we'll see you guys soon. So peace out and goodbye. And if this goes up, me and Yar might be doing a discussion piece as well about things in this set that we might like to look at. You've already heard my side of things, but obviously if we go and do a video with Yar, we'll hear their sort of things as well. So peace and goodbye. See you guys soon. Ciao for now, and keep on playing Tamers.